All right, so we're going to continue with level 5, and if you want to have it open so you can work with me, that is totally your choice, but you don't have to. You could just follow along as I walk through the code, but here's the link to the puzzle in case you want to open it up on your computer. All right, so let's see what we need to do here. It says that variables can be created and assigned using a single command. Before we saw it put into 2 steps. So the single command looks like this. The keyword var, which signals that we're creating a variable, then the name of the variable, then the assignment operator, and then the value that we would like to assign the variable. And so that not only creates the variable, but it assigns it as well, all in one step. You can use variables in an expression like this. So you can say my age plus 1, and the value of the variable is used to evaluate the expression. We've seen that before, but it's a good review. Okay, so here's what we're actually going to do. We're going to run the code to see how it works, and we're going to keep our eye on this watcher right here. Let me make it a little bigger. So we're going to keep our eye on this variable that's in the watcher, my age, and we're going to think about these questions. Which lines of the code use a variable inside of an expression? Does the value of the variable ever change, and why? So let's go ahead and just run this code and see what happens. Okay, so again, watch this area right here. So we see my age is now 16. Let's see if anything changes as we go through the code. So here's on line 11 now. And my age does not change, okay? So it's still running. I thought it was at the end, sorry. Still, my age has not changed. It's still that original value of 16. And we have reached the end of the code. Okay, so let's think about those questions now, and we'll run through the code again. Those questions were, which lines of code use a variable inside of an expression? So let's look at that code. All right, so which line do you see? And there might be a couple of them. Can you name a line that shows where my age is being used in a mathematical expression? If you see one, go ahead and put the line number in the chat. So again, that question is, do you see the variable my age being used in a mathematical expression? So Brandon says line number 11. So if we look at this right here, that is correct. So here is my mathematical expression, my age plus 1. And so what is this going to evaluate to? So looking here, we see that my age is 16. So this mathematical expression is really saying print out, print out 17. It says print out my age plus 1. So that's 16 plus 1, which is going to evaluate to 17. So we see that 17 gets printed out right here in the console. But does it change the value being stored inside of the variable my age? It does not, right? In order to actually change or update the value inside of my age, we would have had to have said my age gets my age plus 1, right? The key here being the assignment operator, the equal symbol. There's no assignment operator in this line, and so we're not reassigning the variable my age to a new value. All we're doing is we're using the expression here to tell console.log what to print out. So we're taking whatever value is in my age, and we're saying add 1 to that, but only print it to the console. Don't actually assign my age that new value, okay? So that's why we see that my age is still 16. All right, can someone else point out, hey Jorge, can someone else point out another line where my age is being used in a mathematical expression? So we already identified the line 11. Is there another line where my age is being used in a mathematical expression? Yeah, line 15. Great job, Armando and Clarence. So line 15, we see my age plus 10. And again, my age is 16. So when we evaluate this, what's it going to print out? 16 plus 10. So if it says print out my age plus 10, it's going to print out 16 plus 10, which is going to be, yeah, 26. And so we see that printed out right here to the console. And again, notice that there's no assignment operator. There's no equal symbol. So we're not actually updating my age. My age is still just 16. We are only using the mathematical expression to tell console.log to print out the number 16 plus 10, which is 26. Okay. So this is how we can use variables in code, but not actually update the value. We still want my age to stay 16 because that is what the age of the person is, right? Okay, any questions? So that's a common misunderstanding, which is why they're bringing it up here. So if you want to reassign a variable, you need to use the equal symbol, the assignment operator. If you just want to print out a value, then you can just say my age plus something. That's okay, Allison. What's up, Jorge? Okay, that's fine. All right. Yeah, I'm recording, so if you miss anything, you're good. You can always watch the video. All right, so let's move on to the next puzzle. Oh, I think they want us to do more. Oh, yep, it says add code that uses variables and expressions to complete the story. There are comments to show you where. Okay, so here's the story so far. Right now, I am 16 years old. That is false, I'm not 16. Next year, I will be 17 years old. And 10 years from now, I will be 26 years old. In 50 years, I will be years old. So it looks like we need to add something here. And then I have lived for about months, okay? So we need to add code to determine how old this person's gonna be in 50 years. And we also need to add code here to calculate the age in months. Okay, let's do it. So how would I calculate how old this person's gonna be in 50 years? How could I do that using the my age variable? Yeah, but it'll be very, very short. We're gonna have a very small project. Yeah, my age plus 50 is what we wanna put. So I'm gonna put right here on this line, I'm gonna put console.log because I wanna print it out before it says years old. So I'm gonna say console.log, and then I'm gonna say my age plus 50. Okay, so that's gonna calculate 16 plus 50, which should be 66. So let's go ahead and print that out. So in 50 years, I will be 66 years old. Okay, so we did that part. The last part is we want to calculate how old we'll be, or sorry, how old we currently are in months. So we already know how old we are in years, which is being stored in my age. How are we going to use my age to figure out how old we are in months? So my question is, how many months are in a year? Not a yar, a year. Yeah, 12 times 60, well, not 66. We want to say 12 times, and then use the variable my age, right? Because we don't want to calculate how old in months we are 50 years from now. We want to calculate how old in months we are right now. Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to say oops. All right, so we're gonna say console.log because we're gonna print it out, right? And then we're gonna say 12 because that's the number of months per year times my age. And that should give us 12 times 16, which is gonna be some number. Let's find out. So let's see, it's gonna be 192 months. So if you're 16 years old right now, some of you might be, you are 192 months old. Congratulations. Well, you might be some other, there might, you're not, if you're exactly 16. All right. So you're so old, 192. Okay, so that should make it so when we click finish, it'll say, okay, I guess it's not actually gonna check. It's just asking me if I'm finished. I thought it was actually gonna check. All right, so for the next puzzle, number 6, they are reminding us that the plus operator can be used to join, or, I like this word, concatenate, 2 strings or a number and a string. So we can join together the strings sun and rise to make sunrise, or we can join together for and ever to make forever. Okay. This special little character, the /n, means a new line character. So basically, it's the same thing as when you hit enter on your keyboard, it enters a new line. So when the computer sees this character, it will actually print out an empty line. Okay. So you can see, let's see here. You can see a bunch of them right here. So this, and this is a new line, and then 1, and then a new line, oops, and then string, and then new line, and then prints, and then new line, and then on, new line, and then multiple, and then new line. So you can, when we print this out, each of these words is gonna be on its own line. It's not gonna be on the same line. So let's check it out. So we're looking down here. Oh, it's running super slow, see? So every single word that you see in this single console.log is being printed on its own line, and that is because of that special /n, \n character. So this one string prints on multiple lines, and then if you look at this line number 9, you see hi there is going to be on one line, and then you have a new line here, which means I am is going to be on a new, I am whatever years old is going to be on its own line. So hi there, and then a new line. So then I am 16 years old is on its own line. And then let's see, line number 11, it says, how many weeks have you been alive? So that's going to be on its own line right here. And then we need to add code to answer the following questions. Okay, so it says, how many days have you been alive? Oh, how are we going to calculate that? Let's see, it says there's 365 days in a year. Okay, so I know, here's the age in years. How am I going to calculate the age in days? 365 times age. Okay, let's try that. Console.log 365 times, is it age or my age? It's just age. Okay. All right. So let's see how many that is. That's going to be a big number, isn't it? Let's try that. I'm going to make this run a little faster. Okay. So it says that how many days have you been alive? 5,840. That's a huge number. So old. Oh, Adam. That's a good point. Adam says 365.25 because of the leap year, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. See what happens. There we go. That makes us even older. 5,844. Yeah, I like that. That's a good solution. Okay, so what if we wanted to make this a sentence like this? I've been alive about blah, blah, blah weeks. Let's make this into a sentence that's very similar. Let's say I've been alive about, and then we're going to go ahead and put our math statement into parentheses so that it knows that we want to calculate this as a number, not as a string. Okay, so whenever we're doing a mathematical calculation next to a string, we need to make sure that we put parentheses around it. Okay, so then I'm going to say days. And then let's go ahead and put a new line as well. That should be in the quotes. So your new line should always go inside of the quotes of the string. And don't worry if this is a little confusing, you're gonna have more practice. So let's see how this prints out now. So before it just printed out a number and nothing else. Now we should be printing out a sentence of I've been alive about 5,844 days, and then a new line before we see this next question. For the math part, does it matter what order if you put the age first? In this case, no, because the math is going to follow the PEMDAS rules. So if you're not familiar with PEMDAS, that's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, and then addition and subtraction. So since we're multiplying here, I could put age times 365 if I wanted to, and it would still arrive at the same answer. Good question. All right, so let me run this, and now I've got a nice sentence here. Okay, maybe I'll put a exclamation mark just like what they had as well. Okay, so I've been alive about 5,844 days. Cool. All right, so now last we want to calculate how many months we've been alive. I think we did that already, but now we want to do that in this program also. So it says, how many months have you been alive? Let's answer their question. Console.log. And again, I'm going to go ahead and answer this in the form of a sentence instead of just a number. So I'm going to say I've been alive about, I'm going to put a space here so that when I put my number, the number's not going to be crowded next to the sentence. I'm going to use the plus symbol to concatenate or join the number to the rest of the sentence. Yeah, leap year. We decided to put 365.25 because of the leap year. Okay, so now we want to put our mathematical expression. And again, I'm using parentheses here just to separate the math from the string that I have on the left, okay? So anytime you have a string and some math to do, it's a good idea. You want to put your math inside of parentheses just to separate it out, okay? Okay, so how do we calculate how many months? Well, we've got 12 months in a year, and then we'll go ahead and put age. Oops, that is not age. I pressed caps instead of A. Okay. So I've been alive about, and then that's going to give me the number of months, and then I want to go ahead and say weeks. I'll go ahead and put this exclamation mark and then a new line. And actually, I just realized I want to put this exclamation mark from the previous answer before my new line. Otherwise, I'm going to have that exclamation mark on not next to days, but on a new line after it. Okay. All right. So, oop, I'm getting a warning. Why am I getting a warning? Do you notice what I forgot to put on line 22? Let me hover over it. Yeah, I need to put in a semicolon to let it know that that's the end of my statement. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. Reset, run. So now my story should be complete. How many months have you been alive? I've been alive about 192 weeks. Yay. Okay. So I think that's all we have to do for this one. Yeah, we just wanted to add code to answer those last two questions. We did use string concatenation. So again, string concatenation, yeah, I can go down. String concatenation is using the plus symbol to join together two or more strings or a string and a number. All right. So Eddie, let me know when you've got what you need. And I think we can finish up. Shouldn't months be 192 months? Oh, you're right. Yeah, on line 22, I accidentally put the word weeks. Thank you for catching that. Months. Yeah. So fix that. Thanks. Yeah. Okay, so we fixed that. Thanks for catching that. All right, so looks like we're ready. I think we can probably finish up at least the next puzzle. No way what, Jorge? You can't believe you can't believe that I, the perfect Kazemi, have made a mistake? Yes, everyone makes mistakes, and that is okay. All right, so, ooh, look at this one. Masterpiece. Sure. All right, so what do we got to do here? Not perfect, but amazing. Thank you. That's a nice compliment. All right, so the counter pattern is my var gets my var plus 1. So that's the pattern to increase a variable by 1, right? The expression on the right, my var plus 1, is evaluated first so that it calculates to a single value, right? And then that single value gets assigned to the variable my var. Okay, so this pattern lets a variable count by whatever amount is added. Alrighty then, so we're gonna run this program to see what it does. And then make sure to click on both buttons. So we've got a button here that says plus $5 and another button plus $20. Ooh, free money app. I'm gonna be clicking this plus $20. I don't care about the $5. Give me the $20 each time. Okay, so I'm gonna run it. And I've got two event handlers. Oh, it looks like the $20 button isn't gonna work yet. So if I click it, it plays a noise, but my money does not increase. That's kind of mean. But it looks like the $5 button does work. So every time I click this button, I'm getting $5. It probably is a scam. Don't give your credit card number out on the internet, please. Not even if it's like a prince from some foreign country that says that they have chosen you. Not even Amazon. Jeff, what is it? Jeff Bezos does not need your money. He's already so rich. Okay, so it looks like, so the $5 button is working. So let's look at how they've implemented it. Well, first of all, we've got this variable called dollars right here. And dollars is initialized, if I rerun this, it's initialized to 0, and that's what we see on the screen, okay? If we look at this event handler for the $5 button, the add $5 the add 5 button, which is this guy right here, whenever we click on it, it's just like the counter pattern, except instead of adding 1 each time, we're adding how much? Yeah, Clarence, exactly. We're gonna have to add the math for the second button. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So for this first event, we're increasing dollars, not by 1, but by 5, yeah. So we can alter how much we're increasing or decreasing our variable by just changing that value. Okay, so we're gonna do something similar down here. Instead of adding 5 each time we click the add 20 button, how much do we wanna add to dollars? Yeah, we wanna add 20. So if we were lazy, I'm gonna be lazy, I'm gonna copy this line, and I'm gonna put it into this event handler. And all I wanna do now is change this 5 to a 20. So what this says is, on the event that my add 20 button is clicked, I'm going to assign dollars to whatever dollars currently is plus 20. Yeah, that'd be nice if that's all you had to do. I mean, you could, like, at least make it look like you had that amount when you look at your bank information online. You could just alter the HTML and then it looks like that much, but it's not what you actually have, unfortunately. All right, so let's run. Oh, actually, before we run it, there's another step we have to do. Right now we're changing the dollars, but we're not updating the amount that's displayed. So that's what this line right here, line 9, will update the dollars label, which is this guy right here. This is the dollars label. We want to update the text there to be whatever dollars currently is. So actually I could just reuse the same line. Oops, this line right here. Yeah, you can inspect the element, yeah. Exactly. You can make it look like you have a lot of money, but it won't actually add it to your account, unfortunately. Okay, so now we have created a counter pattern that will add $20 to the dollar amount, and then this line will update the dollars label to reflect the current dollar amount that you have. Oh, so to copy paste, are you on Windows or Mac? If you're on Windows, it's going to be Control-C to copy and Control-V as in Victor to paste. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. So the $5 button always worked, but now the $20 button should also work. Ooh, look at that. Money, 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 money. Christmas time is coming. I think there's still like an e-sale for Nintendo games for another 12 hours. So I gotta rack up that money. Rack up that money. Buy Dragon Quest 11. I already bought it though. What else did I wanna? You have the money? I think there were some other games that I wanted to buy. I can't remember off the top of my head though. But not the available for what you want. Well, use this app and get money quick. All right, so that is the end of that puzzle. Let me see what we have left, because I know it's 11:30 right now. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.